Welcome to our podcast on TOEFL preparation. I'm Professor James, and today we're discussing how to use official TOEFL Practice Online tests, or TPOs, effectively to boost your TOEFL scores.
Hi everyone, I'm Sarah, a TOEFL preparation specialist. TPOs are incredibly valuable resources, but many students don't use them optimally. Today, we'll share strategies to maximize their effectiveness.
Absolutely, Sarah. Let's start with timing. When should students begin using TPOs in their preparation journey?
That's a crucial question, James. Many students make the mistake of jumping into TPOs too early. Ideally, you should start using them only after you understand the TOEFL question types and have developed basic grammar control.
Right. TPOs are limited resources, so timing is everything. Think of them as dress rehearsals before the actual performance, not as learning tools for beginners.
Exactly. If you use them too early, you won't benefit from identifying your real weaknesses because you're still developing fundamental skills. I recommend students start using TPOs after at least a few weeks of targeted TOEFL preparation.
Great point. Now, how many TPOs should students plan to take during their preparation?
Most students should plan on taking 3 to 5 full TPOs. Quality of review matters more than quantity. After each test, you need about 7 to 10 days to thoroughly analyze your performance and address weaknesses before taking another one.
That makes sense. Let's walk our listeners through the step-by-step process of taking and analyzing a TPO effectively. What's the first step?
First, simulate actual test conditions as closely as possible. Find a quiet space, use headphones, and complete the entire test in one sitting without breaks between sections.
This creates test-like conditions that help build stamina and focus. What should students do after completing the test?
After completing the test, take a systematic approach to analysis. Start by examining your overall performance in each section, reading, listening, speaking, and writing, to identify your strongest and weakest areas.
Then I'd recommend diving deeper into each section. For reading and listening, analyze performance by question type. Are you struggling with inference questions, detail questions, understanding rhetorical purpose?
Exactly. For speaking and writing, review both your content and language use. For content, check if you addressed all parts of the prompt and organized your response logically. For language, identify grammar patterns where you made mistakes.
Speaking can be particularly challenging. Any specific tips for improving speaking section performance based on TPO results?
For speaking, I recommend recording yourself and comparing your response to sample high-scoring responses. Focus on 3 key areas: clarity of ideas, organizational structure, and language use.
And what about the writing section?
For writing, review your essays for organizational structure, idea development, and grammar accuracy. Make sure you're addressing all parts of the prompt and supporting your ideas with specific details.
One mistake I see students make is focusing only on scores and not on understanding patterns of errors. Your TPO results should guide your study plan for the next week.
That's crucial. Create a targeted study plan based on your analysis. If you struggled with inference questions in reading, practice those specifically. If pronunciation affected your speaking score, work on that before your next TPO.
Any final advice about common mistakes to avoid when using TPOs?
Don't take TPOs too frequently without proper review time in between. Don't focus only on scores, focus on improvement areas. And don't neglect to simulate real testing conditions, as your performance can vary significantly depending on test environment.
Excellent advice. Remember that TPOs are valuable but limited resources. Use them strategically as checkpoints in your preparation journey, not as your primary learning tools.
That's right. With proper analysis and targeted practice between tests, you'll see significant improvement in your scores. The key is quality of review, not just quantity of practice tests.
Thank you for sharing these insights, Sarah. And thank you, listeners, for joining us today to learn about maximizing your official TOEFL Practice online experiences.
Good luck with your TOEFL preparation. Remember to be strategic with your TPOs, and you'll be well on your way to achieving your target score. Until next time.